Welcome, everyone. Hope you are doing well. It is February, and as such, we know that it is Black History Month. So we're going to get into we're going to cover some folks that I think should be recognized. So I'm glad that you can join me. So let's get right into it. Hello, and welcome to this special episode of The Conduit. In honor of Black History Month, we take the time to celebrate and reflect on the contributions and the achievements of Americans throughout history. Black History Month is a time dedicated to acknowledging and celebrating the contributions and accomplishments of Black individuals throughout history. It serves as a reminder of the rich cultural heritage and history of Black people and helps to promote cultural awareness and understanding. Additionally, my aim is to empower people to become the best versions of themselves, to move beyond fear, excuses, and not be afraid to fail. In this series, we will not only spend time uh, with our antiquated, we're not going to spend time with our antiquated, safe heroes such as King, Parks, Carver, and others. Instead, we will veer away from the common tropes of Black exceptionalism through sports, music, and acting, as we are so much more than that. While impactful and valuable, we have made significant impacts in a myriad of spaces and need to break the shackles of being told who we can elevate and celebrate. Let these people be an inspiration to both young and old. Today, we're taking a closer look at such an individual, Eric July. Let's look at 5 things. Our first honoree, Eric July, was born April 17, 1990. Eric is a YouTuber, and I even hate to say that, right? So much more than that. Independent musician and a political commentator. Number two, one outstanding attribute is Eric is a comic book writer and publisher. Some things that you probably know about me that definitely resonate is he is known to hate tokenism. He believes it's lazy, disrespectful, and creatively bankrupt. Now, I've taken this from youtube.fandom.com, so I want to give them credit. The most often cited examples of being Falcon as Captain America and Miles Morales as Spider Man, who he refers to as Peter Darker. A common point he makes is that people who support tokens only see legitimacy in classically straight white male characters. Furthermore, he says those who claim to be fans, often called stans, never actually read the comics, but simply like the idea of them. Eric often calls such people despairingly as crack smokers. Again, that is from YouTubefandom.com. For those of you that know me, you know that I was not a fan of especially the second Black Panther movie for just some of those reasons in there. So let's go ahead and check out his website and his YouTube page, which is on the Rippaverse. So we'll take a look at that first. And so here is Eric July's YouTube page. And again, he goes under the moniker of Youngrippa59. And you will see all of he's got a myriad of channels here. He's got a bunch of different shows on here. I believe he's been in this space for more than a decade. The Rippaverse that you can get to from rippaverse.com will show his comic here. Okay. Now, what is tremendously impressive about this is in August or September of 2022, Eric launched his campaign for ISOM #1, who you can see there. To date, Eric launched with a goal of $100,000. That's pretty lofty, right? But he shattered that with a whopping $3,737,920. Not only is he the writer, but he also published this comic. This is huge. Now, I want to have him tell you a little bit himself in regards to what this comic is about. So, fair use. I think you'll be okay with me sharing this out here. So, let me go ahead and do that now.
Isom issue number 1 is the first book released through Rippaverse Publishing, which makes it extremely significant. Though this is Isom's self-titled book, it also serves as a launching pad for our entire universe. This 96-pager was written by myself, Eric July. The pencil and ink work was done by the great Cliff Richards, and the color work was done by Gabe El Taib, 2 comic book veterans. This book is part 1 of the ill-advised arc, and it follows Avery Silman, who lives right outside of Flores Park, Texas, the place where he was born and raised. Now, Avery is what is known as an except, which is what common folk in this area call special people. Years ago, shortly after he got his abilities, Avery decided to become a hero of sorts and adopted the moniker Isom. But a certain event had him come to the realization that this life wasn't for him. So now he lives on his own ranch outside of the big city. One day, Avery gets a call from his sister Altona. She wants him to visit his old buddy because a family friend that interned at her company, Projexis, has gone missing. That old friend is Darren Fontano, and apparently he has some connection to his family friend. Fontano has much changed since he was kicking it with Avery when they were, wee lads. Now he's a cold-blooded shot caller that isn't afraid to do what it takes to remain in his position as one of the most respected people in the city. This is a man that you do not want to cross. What was supposed to be a simple meetup with an old friend turns into the longest day of Avery's life. He runs into other excepts such as Sanswan, Yaira, and the Alpha Court, and some of these altercations take a very violent turn considering his past with one of these characters. You can see why he tries to stay out of the city. Who is this family friend, and what is their connection with Darren Fontano? How does this meeting between him and Avery turn out, and does he get the information that Altona needs? How does this impact the psyche of Avery, who went from a hero to a now blue-collar civilian? These are all questions that will be answered in Isom issue number 1, which you can now pre-order at rippaverse.com, along with some other limited edition merchandise items that will give you some more insight on the characters, such as
Earth, a place with such interesting beings. Like many other planets throughout the cosmos, their subjects have needless squabbles. But from those conflicts, I've discovered some creatures that could be of great use to our efforts. I'm not quite ready for the selection, but after many patient years, I feel it is time for more thorough documentation. This city is where we begin.
Wow. That's Isom number 1, y'all. Again, wrote and published his own comic. That is impressive indeed. $3,737,920. All of the information and the way to check out all of his social media is in the description. And that's it for today's episode. We hope you've learned something new about this man and his contributions to our history and society. Join us next time as we continue to celebrate Black History Month and the achievements of more Americans. Until then, stay informed, stay inspired. Create the history we can be proud of. Your actions today is our history tomorrow. This is Marwan Cameron, and this is The Conduit.